Hi, and welcome to our latest technical help video. In this video, what we're going to be talking about is Missinglettr. This is what you see on your screen right now, or my account from Missinglettr. I've been using Missinglettr for probably a couple of months now, and I'm really appreciating the effects of it. So I'm going to use this space to explain what it is. And how it is going to actually work. So what we're going to do is we're going to start over here on this tab, and this is my latest post on my blog, and I wrote about some of the rules that people are breaking when sending out their newsletter, or in how they're setting up, or the information that they're including on their newsletter. This got a fair amount of reaction when I initially posted it, and it was shared on various social media. And for many of us, that is kind of it. You might get some reaction for your blog post for a period of time, and then it kind of dwindles. This particular blog post is not particularly time sensitive. It's talking about laws that in some cases have been in effect since 2003. And it's information that I'm constantly answering questions on. So this is something that new authors are unaware of in many cases, and they continually need reminders, or maybe it's a good plan to continually send out little blips of information about this. Now, if you're like me, it's all you can do to get the regular work done, get a blog post created and shared for a period of time, and then it just sort of falls off the radar. I know some people are really organized with resharing relevant blog posts, and that's just not me. I just don't seem to have the time or the organizational skills perhaps to do that. So when I found Missinglettr, I thought this is a great idea, and decided to give it a test. What Missinglettr does is it will take a feed from your blog post and will create a year's worth of blog posts, or social media shares for Facebook and Twitter. Not only that, it actually sends you an email reminder to start the process up. So to give you a look at what that will appear on your email, you'll see here I've got an email from Missinglettr, and it says your campaign is ready. We've created some pre-existing or already creating social media campaigns. And it invites me to review or reject the campaign. Because keep in mind that not everything you put on your blog post is going to be sort of evergreen content. In other words, it will be applicable for a year or more down the road. Some of it is time sensitive, and so we wouldn't put it on Missinglettr. But this one is. So we're going to use this as an example. So I'm going to click on Review, Reject. It is going to bring me back to essentially where we started, but it is going to bring me to the screen where I'm going to review this particular content and create the post that I'm going to. So the very first thing that I see is the title of the blog post, Are You Breaking the Law with Your Newsletter? And then it wants me to choose some hashtags that are applicable. For this, I would use newsletter, and probably something like social media, and the rest of them I probably wouldn't use. So I'm just going to hit the trash can and get rid of the ones that I wouldn't use. If you read the blurb that is to the left of where I'm clicking, it'll tell you to choose between 1 and 3 hashtag that to be used, and I've got 2, so that fits within the category. Then I'm going to click on the OK, let's review content. When I click on that, it churs for a little bit, and then it reminds me that I need to do something special with Facebook, and we'll get to that in a second. So I'm just going to close that window. It will then create a series of posts, and as you see as I'm scrolling along, they'll take different form. They'll have different images, and they will contain little quotes from the blog post. Some of them will be really good, and some of them will just kind of not make any sense if you haven't actually read the blog post. Here's an example of one that makes sense. So it's taken the featured image from the blog post, and it says, hot off the press, are you breaking the law with your newsletter? A link to the blog post and then 2 hashtags. That is a perfect post. What I'm going to do is off camera go through and fix up the rest of these. You'll notice that we have an edit button, we have an approve button. So I'm going to go through and approve the ones that are going to be approved, edit the ones that need a little bit of work, and then we'll come back and look at what I've created and talk about it. Okay, so we're back. I've gone through and sorted out all of the various entries so that they make sense and they're visually attractive and perhaps intriguing. So looking at what I have here, down the left-hand side, it will tell you what day this content is going to be fed into my Twitter and my Facebook stream. Day 0, day 3, day 7, etc. So you can see that it's spread out over the space of a year, with the last entry being day 365. Every single one of the entries has edit, a remove button, and an approve button. And we're going to go through and approve some of these entries that haven't been approved before we move on. But let's have a look at them first. So the very first one we looked at before I took a break to finish them all up. It has a graphic, the graphic that is the featured image on the post. It has a statement, check out our new article, are you breaking the law with your newsletter? A link to get there, some hashtags. It's nice looking. Then the next one is day 3, same thing, very similar. Day 7, it's included a different graphic from the post, which I actually really like. It's an infographic that I found. However, when on Twitter, it's not going to be all that readable. So I've only included it on one of the posts. This is an example of a graphic that Missinglettr creates. And I actually liked this one, so I left this one in place. Down to day 30, I've gone back to the featured image and the title of the post. Then a graphic that Missinglettr has created. Again, it's asking a question. Same for day 180. The words are a little bit different between these two. Then we're down to day 270, and I fixed this up. I'm just going to click on approve. Day 365, again, I fixed this up, added a different graphic, and clicked on approve. So now we've got a red button that says finished, final step. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to whir a little bit, and it's going to ask me when I want this to start. Since this blog post was from last week, I want it to start as soon as possible. So the suggested date is tomorrow's date. And you'll notice that the stop date can be entered. So for example, if this is time sensitive content, you can actually see, okay, I only want this to go as far as a month from now or 2 months from now. And you can enter a stop date. I'm not going to for this. I'm going to let the transactions go for a year's worth of time. I'm going to click on activate campaign, and it's going to tell me it's activated. So now if we look through, you'll see that I have 19 active campaigns. Each one of them has a title, and I can pause and edit them at any time. These are all posts that have gone out since July, I think, and it's gradually sharing them to Facebook and Twitter as time goes on. If we take a quick peek at the dashboard, you'll see here that I have 406 total clicks since I started this out. I'm getting way more interaction with my blog posts on Facebook and Twitter than I ever used to before. I would get a certain amount of interaction the day or the week that the post was created, but not long term. And so all of these numbers are reacting to blog posts that go out after the fact, and these are new interactions. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a really good thing. It is a premium service. There is a charge associated with it, but for the reaction that I'm getting and the ease of use, I'd say it's worth the money that I spent. Try it out. See if you can get it working for you and get more interaction on your blog posts.